All right, hey people, today is February 11th, 2023. My name is Chris Lucas. This is my show, The Protestant View. And I am a Seventh-day Sabbath keeper and very much anti-Seventh-day Adventist. And I always feel like I have to stress that because I have really so much issues with the Seventh-day Adventist group, which I plan to do a show later on today with a former fourth generation Seventh-day Adventist, going over some problems with their eschatology. But anyway, I wanted to do a quick video talking about this this article I found. About like maybe a pamphlet I found, a PDF, which I have the whole PDF in my info box. And I went and found this because I was arguing with this preterist, but this also applies to historicist also. I'm not historicist, but futurist also. So these arguments are against futurist and preterist. And so it's called Biblical Predictions, not Preterist, but Historicist. It says the earliest views on biblical predictions, not preteristic, but historicalistic, by Reverend Professor Dr. Francis Nigel Lee, Professor of Systematic Theology, and Caldwell Moreau, lecturer in church history at the Queensland Presbyterian Theological College of Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. So just like a quick view of some of the table of contents in this. I'm not going to read it all. I'm just going to read like basically one page. And so let's see here. It says biblical predictions, not preterist, but historicist. The earliest views about the predictions in the Bible were not preteristic, but historicalistic. Preterism falsely teaches that all or most of the predictions in Holy Scripture were fulfilled in the same generation or lifetime of those whom they were first announced, or to whom they were first announced. And futurism falsely teaches that all or most of the predictions in Holy Scripture were and are yet, even now, still to be fulfilled, only many generations after they were first announced, fulfilled only at the very end of history, when they believe our world will become the late great planet Earth. Historicism, however, or rather historicalism, teaches that all or most of the predictions in Holy Scripture are being fulfilled throughout the whole course of church history. Indeed, all church history, which started right after the fall in the Garden of Eden, Genesis 3:15, shall endure till the very end of time. And these historicalistic predictions will not only finish being fulfilled when Jesus returns at the time of restitution of all things, which God has spoken by the mouth of all his holy prophets since the world began, Acts 3:21. So we're starting to get into the meat of this. The first biblical predictions before the fall were not preteristic, but all historicalistic. The first predictions in the Holy Bible before the fall were understood neither preteristically nor futuristically, but only historicalistically. Indeed, this should have remained man's understanding also after the fall. Thus, in Genesis 1:28, God commanded all mankind, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth and subdue it. This is something that could not have been done preteristically in merely one generation, nor is it something which would start to be done only toward the end of time. This is something which obviously needed to be done down through the centuries historicalistically. The same applies to Genesis 2:3. There, the inspired Hebrew words actually say, God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because On it, he rested from all of his work which God had created in order to make it. There, the message is not that God soon started creating again, as it were, preteristically, right after the expiry of his seventh day in that first generation of men, nor is the message that God would start to rest only futuristically toward the end of world history, but here the message is historicalistically, that God started to rest in Adam in God started to rest in Adam and Eve, and would also continue to rest down through all the centuries until the very end of time. Hebrews 4:3-11. The right understanding of Genesis 2:17 is similar. There, God did not preteristically tell Adam that he would finish dying immediately after eating the forbidden fruit, nor that he would later finish dying during his then 930-year long lifespan. Neither did God there futuristically tell Adam he would not start to die until the end of history. God then historicalistically told Adam he would start to die spiritually at the very day he ate the forbidden fruit, die physically 930 years later, and that unless subsequently justified, he and all of his descendants down through the centuries would keep on dying here on earth. Finally, in the task God gave to Adam in Genesis 2:15 and 2:19 and 2:24, it is very clear that they cannot be accomplished finally in just one generation, preteristically. It is also clear that those tasks were all to start being accomplished many thousands of years before the end of history in the yet future. For all those many tasks and predictions were to continue being fulfilled throughout history historically. And those are, for some reason I am having trouble pronouncing historically and preteristically. Um, so anyway, I just kind of thought that was like a really interesting point, that the Bible has always been interpreted historicalistically. It's never it was never interpreted in the manner futurist interpret it, nor in the manner preterist interpret it. And that's kind of like just that first page of reading alone is what made me very interested in this article, and how it just goes on to define how the historicist interpretation is the correct way of understanding the Bible, and just kind of based on his just that small explanation of Genesis right there. It just kind of it really grabbed my attention. Um, so basically, I'm not gonna sit here and read this whole thing. If people want to read it, I put the whole PDF. I just kind of want to make a quick video showing that this PDF even exists. It's about maybe a 50-page read, uh, and it goes into various. Here, I kind of like read the contents of it real quick. Where we got like a table of contents here where it says, that it's going to talk about the first biblical predictions before the fall. We're not preteristic, but all historicalistic. The first biblical predictions after the fall. Daniel's predictions must necessarily be interpreted historicalistically. The apostolic fathers interpreted the Bible predictions historically. So he's just kind of going down this whole list of everything and reasons why all these various parts of the Bible were interpreted historically and not preteristically or futurist. So I'm just going to kind of leave it there. People can kind of see what's up on the screen. if you want to go read the article. Later on, I plan on doing a show with Sola Scriptura 21. He's a former fourth generation Seventh-day Adventist, and going to go real deep into eschatology. And it will be a benefit for even people who have no interest in the SDA religion, because as we show these flaws, you will also understand how you should really be interpreting these passages, which 99.99% of the churches and Christians out there do not teach you to do correctly. So, and I'll just leave it at that, and thank you.